Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's vlog, well, hopefully you read the title and we're going to be doing some partial range of motion lifting, and that is a joint session I have with Milo Wolf, who has been heading up some research in this area. He is getting his PhD basically in range of motion and how it impacts muscle hypertrophy. And if you haven't listened to the episodes that he's been on the podcast, definitely search those out because we dig deep into why might you even want to perform lengthened partials. And the summary is kind of like this. It seems that there is disproportionately more muscle growth found within the lengthened part of the range of motion, and training muscles at long muscle lengths is very important for maximizing hypertrophy, even to the point where you may get more hypertrophy by doing possibly just lengthened partials versus full range of motion. We cannot say that yet, but what we can say is it seems within the research you get similar growth between a lengthened partial and full range of motion. What you don't want to do is short range of motion partials. That's clearly not creating the best growth. And so it may be something for people to start trying and experimenting with, to do these kind of lengthened partials. And yeah, that's basically what we did in today's pull session today, where we show you practically how you might apply that, and you can maybe have a think about why you might want to do it yourself. So yeah, I won't dig into it too much further than that. We go through the session. I basically take you through each exercise we're doing, some little tidbits about it, and then we have a pose off at the end, and that's the vlog. So guys, enjoy this. If you have any questions, please drop them below. So first we started with a lateral raise. So I'm doing a cross-body lateral raise. I may have spoken about this before, but I'm doing cross-body to get the delt in a more lengthened position, so bringing the D handle across my body and my arm across my body. This is the only exercise I actually didn't do lengthened partials on, because it was at the start and we were just kind of discussing things. But for everything else, I do lengthened partials, and pretty much everything I'm taking to like 0 RAR. Milo's similar, taking it close to failure, maybe not 0 RAR for him, but yeah, you'll be able to see that.
Finish it. Solid, Milo.
So the first exercise we actually did lengthened partial style was pull-ups. So I was normally doing an assisted pull-up here, and I was like, right, Milo, I've got you here, let's do these partial range style. And so he was like, right, just pull up to basically 90 degrees. And it took me a little kind of few reps to kind of get used to it, but it worked pretty darn well, I think. And the same principles apply. Nice controlled eccentrics, big stretch on the bottom. I mean, the whole point we're doing lengthened partials is to be more in the lengthened range here. And then just the temptation to pull all the way to the top kept kicking in, and I just had to control that. And unfortunately on this machine kind of isn't the best suited for pull-ups actually, because the assisted portion kind of gets in the way, so you have to really control the eccentric actually, so that you don't end up coming forward and hitting into that.
Milk it, milk it, milk it. Good. Milk the eccentric. Good. How'd that feel?
Yeah, good. Again, these are particularly nice because you're weakest up in that short position and you're strongest in this lengthened position. And so it's complementary in that way. And the lengthened portion of the movement is obviously tending to be the most hypertrophic. And so it makes sense for me in a lot of ways for pulling movements to do them in this lengthened partial kind of way.
Easy. You got that. Yeah.
So for lengthened partials,
Yeah.
would you come? Next up was lat prayers. or like a straight arm pull down. And I was just, of course, like figuring this out. I was like, where do I pull to? About here? How does that look? And yeah, Milo was kind of cueing me here. This one felt okay, again coming out for a full stretch and then being nice and kind of explosive through the starting motion and then controlling that eccentric. Again, very similar to how you would do it full ROM, but you're just coming to half the range of motion. That's essentially what Milo is defining as kind of this lengthened partial is like the first half of the range of motion there.
Keep going. You got it. Just arm straight. Good. Good. Feels weird, right? Yeah. With these, yeah. That's what I've heard.
So again, Milo performing these. I think on chatting, he was actually saying how he's been doing dumbbell pullovers, which I was like, we could try those, but I think Milo just wanted to kind of fit into what I was doing. So I think he said he's tried these and they're not his favorite, and he actually prefers a dumbbell pullover. And it's interesting because dumbbell pullovers got a load of flack because they obviously don't have, like, I guess some people would call it constant tension. Obviously the tension is different across the range of motion with a cable, but there's always tension in every range, whereas a dumbbell kind of completely switches off when you bring it over the top. But for length and partials and for that kind of long muscle length and getting the most tension there, it works very well.
Nice, Milo. Control. That's it.
Next up is this Strive row machine. So you guys have probably seen me perform this movement before, and normally I would come back and arch and get kind of a more peak contraction, I guess you would call it, whereas now we kind of decided we're going to come to passing kind of the pin that lets you select how far the chest pad comes back, or kind of 90 degrees bend in terms of arm angle. And I think that's a really nice way to standardize a lot of your pulling movements. It's like pull to 90 degrees of arm angle, and that actually works really nicely as a standardization.
All the way, keep pulling. You got 2 more at least. Milk it. Pull, 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 pull. There we go. Last one. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Milk it.
Again, chatting to Milo here, and I don't want to put words in his mouth. This is upon memory, and it was a couple of weeks ago that we trained now. But I think he was saying how on these machines where you can select where the most challenge is, so on Strive Kit, Prime Kit, and you can make it disproportionately harder at the start, he probably thinks lengthened partials make less sense because you can already make it so challenging at the start and then way easier up at the back. And that's probably why, for example, Mike Israetel really likes the Prime row machine, and I really like this one from an SFR, stimulus to fatigue ratio.
Squeeze. Control. Milk that. Let's go, Steve.
Then we moved on to another machine where you can select where it's hardest, and this is the Prime curl. So here again, we're just coming to 90 degrees arm bend, or half the beginning half range of motion. And just look at the amount of weight I'm using. I just want you to look at that and see it's like 3 pins down. And the reason I'm saying this is because my arms are, I don't actually know if they measure bigger than Milo's, but my biceps are a strong point, of course, you guys know this, and they are weak. And you'll see that because you'll see Milo performing this with quite considerably more load. I don't know if he actually also got more reps.
Let's go, Steve. Let's go, Steve. Finish it. 1 more. Let's go. Nice, you're done. Okay. He's doing it.
So I don't know how many's that. Is Milo like 5 down? And you got quite a lot of reps here. The cool thing with this is actually something that was done in research. So they've done lots of the kind of partial versus full range of motion they've done on a preacher curl machine. They haven't used specifically a prime machine. And actually I'd love prime, obviously now Strive don't exist, but I'd love prime to maybe invest in some research, or there to be some more research using this kind of equipment versus kind of just your bog standard equipment.
Nice, Milo. Squeeze. Control.
So finally we finished with abs. Again, I have found ab work a little bit harder to do partial range of motion because there's not like a clear point to bring it to for standardization. So that was a bit challenging, and I know abs are super boring, but I wanted to drop this in here because we also did it for abs and we're applying it to the whole session apart from the first movement, so it might be interesting for you to see it, and this is how Milo was saying to apply it.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. There we go. Control, control, control.
Interesting note on this one is that different people, like with the biceps, and Milo being considerably stronger on that machine, despite maybe not the size or the look being there. Milo isn't built for this ab machine. He's much taller than me, and so it was just a real struggle for him. Again, just a good side point to make that machines fit people differently. I forget what Eric Helms called it. It's like pick-up bodybuilding or something, but it's always good to have a pose down with a fellow bodybuilder. And this is the moment I tell you that I'm deep into a mini cut, glycogen depleted, my flattest ever, and not looking my best. Because yeah, Milo is not just tall, he's also a big dude, and he has competed in natural bodybuilding and competed at the WNBF in 2021, the same show I actually did, but he's in the tall height class, and that was a very competitive class, and I think he has a lot of promise in natural bodybuilding, so I'd love to see him continue, especially if he brings up his upper body to match his very impressive lower body. He has nice symmetry, he has nice kind of, you see how his quads sweep, he has nice lats also kind of splay out here. So yeah, I think he has a lot of promise. I'd love to see him continue in natural bodybuilding, and also obviously all the research that he's doing. It's all helping us get more jacked and strong. So enjoy this pose off, and I hope you've enjoyed this lengthened partials session with myself and Milo, and you'll get a bit of a clip for our ending because we went to Honest Burger for a burger, and yeah, I got a burger and coleslaw because this was the end of my mini cut. I literally had like a couple more days, but I stick to it, and that was that. And soon you'll be seeing me massing in these vlogs. So guys, thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.